Good afternoon. My name is Giselle Cerron. I'm a student of market research at the Scientific University of Cesar. My group and I are in charge of doing market research. The objective of this interview is to find out their opinion on aluminum salt-free deodorants for women aged 25 to 55, and for this reason we would like to count on your participation in this study. It is important to mention that your participation is valuable for our research. I would like to ask you to have confidence, feel comfortable, and be as sincere as possible. Before I start, I would like to ask your permission to record the session. And remember that the information you provide me is strictly confidential and will be analyzed together. What interests us is your opinion. I already thank you for your time. So without further ado, we start the interview. Moving on the public profile to the specialist. To start, I like to know you a little. What is your name?
My name is Rebecca Cannon.
Where are you from?
I was born in Australia.
Okay. Where do you work?
At the moment, I work at Markham College or Markham Colegio in Lima, Peru.
Okay. What do you do?
I am a science teacher. At the moment, I'm specializing in chemistry and biology, but I have taught all the sciences.
What specialty do you have?
Chemistry, physics, biology.
Okay. How many years do you have of experience?
7 years.
Okay. Okay. Let's talking about habits, needs, and relationship with a category.
Mm-hmm.
What type of deodorant is best for women?
I'm not sure about for women, but I know for me personally, I like the roll-on deodorant because then I feel like it covers everything and I don't accidentally spray my t-shirt, or I feel like it sticks better to where I need it to be to stop the sweat.
Okay. Is it necessary to use deodorant every day?
Yes. Well, it's because I have lived a lot of times in very warm places where I sweat a lot, like Australia. Probably here in Peru is the same, and Malaysia definitely, so you need something to stop the sweat because that makes you smell.
Can deodorants cause health problems in women?
I've just heard it can potentially. I hadn't heard of this before.
Okay. Are there any differences between deodorants and antiperspirants?
There probably is, but I'm not sure I know them. I know that deodorants' job is to stop the sweat, and then you have like perfumes which just cover the smell of the sweat.
Okay. Are there natural alternatives to commercial deodorants?
I don't know if it's natural, like take some mint leaves, kind of natural, but I know that a housemate of mine was using what she called natural deodorant for a month where it didn't have aluminium, and it was meant to be, I guess, more natural, but she stopped using it after a while.
Now we're talking about valued attributes. If I tell you deodorants free of aluminum salts, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
I'm interested because I understand that aluminium basically just stops the sweat glands from working. So I'm like, oh, how can these deodorants work then? Do they just cover the smell, or do they do something to like reduce the amount of sweat that you produce?
There is a correlation between the increased use of antiperspirant deodorants with aluminum salts and the incidence of breast cancer. What is your opinion regarding this?
Personally, I haven't looked at all the studies or heard of this much before, but if there was a link, I would like to investigate it to check, if it's true or just like Facebook style news. And if it did, I would start to think, well, how great is the risk of this cancer? Because we live in a society where cancer is quite common, and so it becomes like which do I value more? Do I value reducing my chance of getting breast cancer, or do I value not smelling when I'm in company of other people?
Do you consider that the trend of healthy and the culture of prevention and, among other trends, have resulted in brands in the field of personal care choosing to innovate their products? Why?
Yes, I think there is a trend as society pushes for more healthier products that we get more healthier products because supply drives demand. Demand can also drive supply. For example, we used to have like heavy metal paint being used in kids' toys, and that wasn't healthy because then kids would lick toys because that's what they do, and then they have heavy metal poisoning. So, like that's a example of what I think it was of a push for healthier products, and that's happened. Same with food, like snack food you get is always I think going to be quite high in like sugars and salts, which aren't good for you in large amounts. But as people are aware now of diet and the effect it has, you're seeing a lot more products advertising themselves as low in sugar or low in fat to respond to the health conscious market, which is growing.
Today, what benefits do you think aluminum salt-free deodorants bring to society? Why? How do they benefit?
Personally, I don't know the advantages of aluminium salt-free deodorant. What I can think right now is maybe we have to mine less aluminium, which is probably a good thing because aluminium mining, the mining of bauxite, can cause problems to the environment. For example, bauxite mining, which is what the aluminium comes from, basically is strip mining. So you have to like cut everything down to take the aluminium out and then replant the trees afterwards. So there's environmental consequences that way.
In what aspects do you look at, or what do you consider when choosing a deodorant? What should or should it have?
So I look for roll-on. When I'm in a new country and I don't know the brands, I might look for like a more known international brand that I know works, like Dove or Rexona, and I'd look for the roll-on one, and I might do a quick sniff test because lots of them will come with they smell of something. So I'm like, do I like the idea of the smell of cherry blossom, or do I just go completely natural scent? And I might be interested in if it says it has anti-white mark. I can't remember what the term is, but basically some will advertise that if you use this brand of deodorant, you won't get the white marks on your t-shirt from using deodorant. And I'm like, that's cool. When I was living in Asia, they would advertise deodorant that was like bleaching deodorant, as in it would make your armpits look whiter, and I thought that was very strange, so I avoided those deodorants.
Okay. Do you think that the bikini or traditional deodorants should be improved? In which version would you like to find the market, and where would you like to find it?
So traditional packaging, I think is okay. From what I can see, it's not like it's wasted space. Like, for example, bags of chips have a lot of air space in them. Deodorant doesn't seem to have that problem, so reducing the waste. I do like the roll-on deodorants that have the lid facing down, so then you get more of the deodorant out of the bottle before you have to throw it away and buy a new one. Now you've mentioned it, it would be good to see if they could be more recyclable in some way to reduce the waste that we have.
Okay. And as for the consumption of deodorants, do you think today's women should use a product that generates positive social impact? Why?
Yes, because I believe that all people are entitled to a good, healthy life, and if, like, for example, with sweatshops, with clothing, while it means that I might get a cheaper piece of clothing, I'm not making a good life for people in, say, Bangladesh. And so I believe that the things we buy, if we have control over it, so, if you have sufficient money and things like that, and have time to do all the research, should benefit all the society as a whole to make a better place for everybody to live.
Okay. Well, finally, closing comments. We appreciate your valuable time and information provided. We would like to express our appreciation through this symbolic present.
Oh.
Well, this is for you.
Oh, thank you. It's tasty. Ooh.